So today is Thursday, October 19th, and I am camping up at Big Meadow Lake. Now, the reason I'm camping up here, I'm going to be here for at least 3 days. So at the end of September, I ended up getting 3 emails from 3 different individuals saying that they were camping up here in September, and some odd things happened. First of all, they heard some vocalizations, some knocks, and they also described very disturbing sounds coming from the woods. So I don't know exactly what category to put in disturbing, but I thought it was interesting. So after I received these 3 emails, I messaged a friend who was in the general area, and he was intrigued. So he came out for one night, just for a couple hours, just to check it out. He was nearby. So he came out about 10 o'clock at night and just sat by the lake. And he messaged me and said he heard at least 2 knocks, and he kept saying there were some weird sounds going on, and he also said he heard voices. He couldn't make out anything they were saying, but he said he heard voices around him. It creeped him out pretty bad, so he packed up and left. But he was here for a good 2 hours at least. Okay, so I sent you an email or a text message saying that there was activity reported here at Big Meadow Lake.
Mm-hmm.
So you came out for a couple hours.
Yep.
What happened?
Yeah, I was here. I was camping with other people and couldn't be here all day, but came around 9:30ish. Sat over on the north shore of the lake in an area that's day use only, and for the most part it was very quiet. I didn't mention this to you, but so I came up with this idea that it was kind of cold outside, so I wanted to be in my car, but I wanted my head out the door. So I opened my sunroof and I had my head popped out, and I was listening, and just to see if I'd hear anything, and kind of just killing time. There was a chipmunk that kind of went crazy, but then at first I thought there were no campers, and I hadn't really ever been to the campsite before, but then I thought I heard a lady talking on the other side of the lake. Now there is a trail there, so maybe somebody was hiking at 9:30, and it was just for a second I thought, oh, there's people over there, and then there was nothing. And then maybe 45 minutes, an hour later, I thought I heard some men talking and walking towards me, walking east along the road. And it kind of, at first it made me nervous because I thought, oh, this is a day use area, I hope somebody's not going to come tell me I shouldn't be here. And I thought they're going to think, what am I doing with my head sticking out my sunroof, so I started to get nervous, and then just kind of waited, and nothing. And kind of creeped me out, and I decided to leave. And I started thinking, are there people trying to sneak up on me? What's going on? But not saying that there were, but that's what I experienced.
No, didn't you say you heard a couple knocks?
Oh, yeah, I did. Sorry. They were very distant, and they were not from that area. They were from, like, over here. Yeah. But actually, I'd kind of forgot about that. I had not thought about it, really, since I came and met you here again. because I didn't have any recording going. It was just hoping to hear or see something. But yeah, there were some distant knocks, but they weren't connected to the voices, so far as I know. It was just way off, And it was over here, so could it have been someone camping? It could have, but it did sound like pretty clear, two kind of clear wood knocks.
Do you know what time those knocks were?
I think right when I got there, not towards the end, so maybe 9:30.
Cool.
And one more distinct than the other. One was kind of like, and then another one sounded like very clearly a distant wood knock.
How far apart were the knocks? Do you know? Was it a few seconds?
Not seconds apart. No, like 10, 20 minutes apart. And like I said, one of them was kind of like, was that? And then later there's one that was clearly one. So after hearing his experience, that intrigued me even more. So that is why I'm out here. I was hoping to have the campground to myself. I figured I'd probably run into some hunters, and I have a camp right next to me that are hunters, but there's a few other people here camping, which isn't a really big deal. The 3 reports that I got were for people who were camping here, so hopefully maybe with other people here making noises and stuff like that, it could stir something up. Who knows? But my plan for tonight, I'm here by myself. I got another friend showing up sometime tomorrow. But for tonight, I'm going to run some audio down by the lake tonight. And the hillside that's behind me, there's been a lot of reports from that hillside. Knocks, vocalizations. I personally have heard some vocalizations, some knocks, whistles, and what sounded like hands clapping together. So my plan is to have a thermal camera mounted on a tripod watching that hillside all night tonight, just in case anything walks up. There is a clearing right up on top that I'll be focusing my thermal on, so hopefully something walks out there. But yeah, that's the game plan for tonight. When I pulled in here, there was a warning sign on the camp sign saying that there are predator animals been reported here in the camps and on the hiking trails around the lake. We've had a lot of rain these last few days, but this weekend is supposed to be really nice. I think that's why everyone's out here camping. But there's no cloud cover, so it's gonna get cold tonight. I pulled in about 1:30 this afternoon, and it was already like 55 degrees, so it's definitely gonna get down around freezing tonight. So every time before you put out a recorder, make sure you always have fresh batteries. I've made that mistake a few times. So my setup here is just an ammo box with high-end nature microphones, and it's going to be plugged into my Zoom 1 recorder.
Test, test, test.
Test, test, test.
It works. Now, with the temperatures dropping, the cold weather will affect your batteries, will drain your equipment, and your equipment will just stop recording. So I've learned to use these hand warmers. This is actually a body warmer, and they last for about 12 hours supposedly. So I like to drop one of these inside the case. Keeps it warm all night and keeps the recorder from freezing. So the box also keeps moisture from building up on your recorder at night. Plus it protects it from all the elements, even rodents. So I'm going to head down to the lake and set this bad boy up. So I'm stashing it right underneath this little pine tree. And what's cool is these microphones have little clips on them, so you can actually attach it to the tree branches. October 19th, Thursday night. It is 5:30 p.m. Big Meadow Lake. That's it. So if anyone's walking by, driving by, they're not going to see that little green box down there. So the thermal ran for about 12 hours that night. Now during the whole time frame, nothing ever came into view except for a couple little blips right before dawn, but they were faint and most likely just deer. A lot of leaf cover, which makes it difficult to look for tracks. Oh, that's fresh. Yeah, so I'm just out doing an early afternoon hike on the main trail that kind of loops around the campsites and the lake. I saw a lot of fresh bear scat, some tracks like that. Last night was pretty quiet. Didn't hear anything out of the ordinary except for the geese. Now I did run my thermal camera last night watching that hillside. Out of all the hours that I recorded, I didn't capture pretty much anything except for two little blips that showed up on it, but they were there only for, you know, maybe a minute or so, and then they were gone. So could be anything. But I'm just gonna continue hiking around this trail and document anything I find. This tree right here. This part of the tree right here was totally bent, twisted, and kind of pulled around many years ago. And I find it interesting that they removed it. But it was kind of cool. Little mushroom stuck in the branch here. This used to stump me for a little while. Why would a mushroom be stuck in a tree? Well, I learned that, yeah, see, here's some more. That squirrels will lodge their mushrooms on a tree branch or whatever to dry them out a little bit before packing them away for the winter. So if you come across this, it is not related to Bigfoot. See those two branches leaned up against the tree like that? Oh, look at this. Now, I'm not saying it's Bigfoot, but it's interesting. Stick structures are always interesting to look at, even though you can't necessarily prove that a Sasquatch did it. That looks fairly fresh. It's definitely above my head. So probably at least 6.5 feet up. Okay, so I'm on the trail leading to the east side of the lake over here. Now, this is where a lot of people say the big guy lives, right over in this general area. And most of the reports have all come from this direction. Now, I've only been on the trail for a few minutes. Came across this huge mushroom sitting on a tree stump. Okay, very easily could have been placed there by a person or another animal. You can see some mushrooms have been broken off up here. then I came across this, just a pile of sticks all jammed in here. Just looks a little odd. Ooh. Dragonfly zone. One thing that's interesting about this area is one of the main food sources out here is huckleberry. There's tons of huckleberry bushes out here. So of course with huckleberries you have a lot of black bear. But I know the Olympic Project has found a possible link with huckleberry branches and their nest area. So maybe it's something with a Sasquatch as well. Yeah, this side of the lake has a different vibe to it, that's for sure. Not extremely uncomfortable, but I don't know, just got that feeling in your gut that you're about to be ambushed. I don't like having that feeling. Constantly looking around. I don't know, it's just got this slight heaviness to the side of the lake. I'm turning back now because I didn't want to go too far. I just was kind of curious about it. I'd like to go further once I have my friends with me, but there's something uncomfortable about this side. I'm getting goosebumps, I don't know why, but my voice is telling me to turn back, but there's something about this that is like drawing me further in. Like, I don't know, it's a weird feeling. It's like, no, keep going, but then there's another side. It's like, turn around now. So little tree break right there, another one right here. So I'm going to go with my gut, turn around and head back to the car. Even though this trail just loops all the way back, and I should hit the back end of the campground. But I don't know, it's just there's something special about this side of the lake. I don't know what it is. It's dead quiet, I know that. No sound but the wind. There's one of those classic X symbols that everyone seems to post online. Looks like it broke up there. So I think what I'll do is I'll leave a recorder out on this side of the lake, somewhere around this trail. What I'd like to do is come back here, place a series of game cameras throughout this area, and just leave them up all winter. Yeah, the feeling's kind of changed now. Deeper over there, I don't want to sound all new agey, but it was like there was this energy just enticing me to go further, and it just didn't feel right. But over here, I mean, there's still that slight feeling. I mean, I still got the chills going up my spine. It's weird, but it doesn't feel as intense. Could just be my imagination getting the best of me. I mean, I've read a lot of reports from people about this side of the lake, so maybe that's a factor. I don't know. Weird place. Okay, so it is a little after 7 p.m. I'm just sitting here in camp next to the fire, and I heard two people walking up the road here towards my camp. Not super close, but I could hear them coming up the gravel road, and I could hear voices. So they were talking, and it's pitch black. There was no flashlights, no cell phone light, nothing. I was like, well, that's weird to walk in the dark, you know. So I turned my thermal on, and I scanned the road, and there's nobody there. The voices stop, everything stops. There's nobody there. I mean, I know voices do travel across lakes, but I heard them on the road. I couldn't hear what they were saying. I could just hear voices, and it sounded like somebody walking up the road, and there's nobody there. I don't know. It's weird. Of course, that's some of the claims out here are hearing voices. Luckily, there's some people, you know, just camped up a ways from me. But creepy. It's 7:25 p.m. Just heard my first knock. Came from the west of my camp down the main hiking trail. So it was off in the distance, but it was clear as a knock. Shit. Hold on, I think I just saw some eye shine. That was eye shine. It was fast, quick. It's like a flash. I never thought hearing a generator at night would be comforting. Luckily, I got a recorder further out, but I'm sure it'll pick up that generator. Now, because there's other campers here and there's children in these campsites, I'm not doing any kind of thing to provoke a response. Like, I'm not doing any knocks, I'm not doing any calls. So whatever occurs will occur naturally, but this last family that just pulled in with their fifth wheel, they were doing a lot of hammering of some sort, which sounded like knocks. It was echoing all over this lake, and the kids were carrying on and going woo. And they were doing that about 45 minutes before I heard that knock. So it's going to be a long night. Yeah, that flash of what I thought was eye shine, I mean, it happened fast. And it wasn't low to the ground either. It was a little higher, but it was bright white. I just saw one, just real fast. I mean, it could have been anything. It could have been an owl. It could have been, I don't know, something. I don't know. I'm not even sure what color an owl eye shine is. I guess I can look it up. I did find some fresh bear scat, literally like maybe 50 yards from my camp. So and I overheard these campers over here talking that they're out hunting around the lake here, and they did encounter a cougar. So all kind of critters running around out here. I don't know what's makes me feel more uneasy. Hearing voices and somebody walking when there was nobody there. Or seeing a quick eye shine, or hearing a knock. You know, but I do find it interesting that 90% of the reports are from the east side of the lake. But the knock came from the west. Just one knock. Just one. I'd really like to know what the number of knocks mean, you know? You'll hear one, you'll hear two, you'll hear three. I had a recorder set up one time out towards Williams Lake. I caught 3 wood knocks and a vocal. But what was interesting is there was a knock, there was a pause, and then 2 quick knocks. Knock, knock. And then it was answered by a vocalization from a different direction. I'm convinced that the knocking sounds, whether they're made with a stick or not, I don't know. There's a pattern there, and I just can't put my finger on, you know. All I do know is when you get 3 knocks in a row, you're going to get action that night. It's happened every time we've gone out. We'll hear multiple knocks and we'll get vocals, you know, we'll get activity around our camp. What do you guys think? Do you think there's a pattern to the knocking? Like a Morse code type thing? I don't know. Another head scratcher, I guess. So my friend Aaron showed up late last night. So first thing in the morning, we headed towards the east side of the lake and hiked the trail and explored some of the hillsides up there. Yeah, all we're seeing are moose tracks right in this muddy area. It's got this break here. Got a secondary break right there that Aaron's under. And we got a third break right there. Now, I'm not saying that Sasquatch did this, probably most likely storm damage. But we're gonna walk up the ridge and just have a little look. I got fresh scat back here. Huh? I think bear. This could be the old road. So I had a couple reports dating back to the late 70s, early 80s of an old road on the east side of the lake where people used to go back and hang out and party back in the day. So a couple reports of activity back then. So we came across this old road and headed on up and explored it a little bit. We connected with some game trails throughout the day, followed those, and the whole time we were out there it did not have the feel that it did the day before, but we didn't see any kind of evidence of tracks or anything like that, so we called it a day.
Yeah, it was right by this tree that
So here's some additional audio that was picked up on the second night. Now this first one I can't rule out possible human, but there was a vocalization on the backside towards the east side of the lake. Now, I never heard this in camp, but the recorder picked it up. You'll hear some kids playing in the campsite, and something screams out, and you'll hear the kids again, just carrying on. So this next recording happened around 5 o'clock in the morning, going into the third day. So this was coming from the north end of the lake. You'll hear some geese carrying on, and then something vocalizes behind the geese. Now, I've never heard a goose have a call that just dragged out forever. So, not sure what it is, but have a listen. Thanks for watching, everyone. I will catch you guys in the next video, and I hope all of you have a happy Halloween.